So, hey guys, I'm getting on real quick to talk to you guys for this month's vlog. Yay, I finally made one, right? Actually, I did make a vlog and it got deleted. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the how to maintain your weight. And if you are the ones that were participating for the Lemonade Master Cleanse, I probably am basically talking to you guys, or if you have any recent weight loss, I'm also talking to you. Just wanted to talk to you guys on how to maintain that weight loss now that you've lost it, right? You want to keep it. And those that are still persevering and enduring and still trying to lose the weight, I continue to just encourage you just to keep at it. And if you persistent, it will pay off in the end. But it's going to take work. And just for those that have lost the weight can identify with that, they know that the losing that weight wasn't easy at all. And keeping them pounds off definitely is not going to be simple. But it can be done. But it's going to be done with a challenge. So I wanted to get on just to kind of share some tips on how to maintain that weight loss. First of all, the most important thing is you're going to have to know the reason that you were overweight in the first place. If you can look back and you can see what led you to overeat in the past, it's going to be very important to understand how to begin to turn those foods away and how to walk away from those foods, especially during stressful periods or those craving periods or those wanting periods, because a lot of times we run to food for comfort. So we don't want to adopt that same lifestyle. You know, sometimes the triggers from overeating can be linked to also your hormones, especially for women that go through PMS that can identify with that, because even as myself, over the years as I've grown a little bit older and more mature, I've found myself as well craving that sweet and salty factor thing that women do. And another factor that could be affecting you gaining that weight can be your mood swings. Like people that have depression, a lot of times when they become depressed, they become physically inactive. And when they become physically inactive, it can begin to stimulate those cravings to go after the wrong things and put the wrong things in their body. So when they're down, they turn to something. And as something in this particular vlog we're going to be talking about is that food. That food is what's going to make them feel better. That food is what is going to become addictive. So we want to make sure that we know the reason why we are overeating. Next, to maintain that weight loss, you want to plan to succeed. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain, but we need to begin to learn how to plan eating for the day. I did it all the time with my twins as they was coming up, and even when I had my new son, my last son, I said new son, okay, my last son, I learned how to plan my meals, because a lot of times the daily activities of our children or our family or even ourselves can be overwhelming. So it would be feasible if we plan our eatings. And that's what I did. I planned our 2 snacks and our 3 meals a day. I literally would pack lunches and literally would make things available to my family, not only for myself, but for my family to eat healthier. And I did that through planning, and it can make just a little bit of a budget. You know, it's going to take that for meals that can also include those snacks, which are going to be significant, because if you could snack in between those meals, it's going to prevent you from overeating at the end of the day or consuming too much. So you want to plan those meals. And even doctors have suggested the main meal of the day should be a plate of food with things such as protein that have meats and beans, or if you don't eat meats, you know, you probably would eat beans on a quarter of the plate, and you have like a starch. Let me show you. This is a plate, right? So doctors recommend that you divide this plate into 4 quarters, and basically in this quarter you will put your meats, and in this corner, I feel like a fight. In this corner we have our starches. such as rice and pot. No, just joking. But seriously, you want to make sure you put on 1/4 of the plate your proteins, and on 1/4 of the plate, this will be where your starches will be, such as your rice and your pasta, on this side of the quarter of the plate. And you will have your 2 servings of like your different colored vegetables on the other both sides of these plates. So you will have your 2 vegetables, and you'll have your starch, and you will have your protein. And that way you'll be able to balance out what you eat daily. And the doctors also recommend that you make sure that your vegetables don't match the same color. If you have green here, you want to make sure you have orange here, or yellow here, or white here, which would be your cauliflower, or something that's opposite of this side of the plate. That way you can have a balanced meal, right? And basically that's going to help you to plan to succeed and plan for success, for eating better and making those better food choices for yourself. And also, feelings of hunger may be influencing the kind of foods you're eating. Like, for instance, I mean, I can identify with this myself. I work at a shop, and so if I don't plan to succeed as far as planning my meals for the day, or making sure that I properly am prepared for that day, I'll find myself eating at the vending machine, or going next door to the store buying chips and soda pop and iced tea, and going to Quick Trip getting 44 ounces of Pepsi, which I have been 2 years clean from being addicted to Pepsi, and I don't want to get back into that habit. But occasionally I do drink Pepsi. I'm not abstaining from it, but I do want to make sure that I'm balancing it, and I'll get to that later. So you want to make sure that you're planning to succeed, and you do that by overdoing your carbs. If you eat more proteins, and that is not really limited to like animal proteins, be sure to include some proteins from plant resources too, because those are the things that are going to help you to stay full a lot of time. Those carbs are so important to keep you full. That way you won't indulge at the end of the day. Even between your 2 snacks, you want to make sure you're getting something, maybe like an apple and some yogurt, or other things that I do. I do the graham cracker snacks with the cream cheese, which that is kind of fattening, but at the same time, I'm not eating a whole pack of cookies, my Vienna fingers, that I'm so addicted to that I've been doing really good. But, you know, just something, or even like the animal crackers and yogurt. Some of the things that I adopted when my son was young, I began to even eat it in my own life, because I found out that it was much more healthier, and I felt satisfied. Eating that yogurt and those animal crackers kept me from eating a whole pack of cookies, because I had the satisfaction of that sugar rush that I was so craving. So that's another way that you can help to maintain that weight loss. One of the things that caused you to overeat, but also planning to succeed to keep you to maintaining this weight loss. Thirdly, or the third way to help to maintain weight loss, is to keep portions in check. And that kind of goes back to what I said as far as using the plate, you know, cutting it into corners, or whenever you're eating. Not even with this, you have to make sure that you watch your portion sizes. And I'm not saying that abstain from ice cream or abstain from those things, but if you're going to eat ice cream, try to just enjoy 1 scoop, not 5 scoops or the whole carton. And like, I'm a really passionate person, and I have an addictive personality. When I want something, I just want all of it. If I want somebody's attention, I want all the attention. If I want ice cream, I want all that ice cream. If I eat cookies, guess what? I want all those cookies. And I just found myself a little while ago, I bought a box of Nutty Bars, and I ate it in one serving, because I have an addictive personality, and so I have to very much moderate and watch the things that I eat, and be more conscious of the things that I've eaten, because you can be watching a movie, and then all of a sudden you find out you done ate the whole bag of popcorn in one sitting. You know, so we want to make sure we keep those portions in check, and over time you can begin to gain that weight, and that stuff builds up over time, and you begin to live that unhealthy lifestyle because of the wrong choices you're making, or because your portion sizes are out of order. are taking too much, because usually the doctors say, if you go to the food pyramid or pyramidgov.com, they say that that a serving is 1/5. My fist and your fist are different fists. So a medium-sized apple is bigger than a fist. So if I eat apple that's bigger than my hand, to me that's actually 2 servings. So the smaller the person, the smaller the fist, and the smaller the portion. So you have to moderate it for according to you, if for each its own. Also, doctors recommend that it doesn't usually prescribe. Some people struggle with trying to count calories, and I don't recommend that because it takes a lot of discipline, and I don't want to put too much on anybody. But I will recommend that you try to keep some kind of food diary if you are a food addict, and that would help you to see exactly what you're taking in. And being a finance manager, I have found that to be true for as budgeting as well as food. You know, for your budget, you keep your receipts, so at the end of the week, you know where your money is going, and you know where to cut back on, and you know what to get rid of, and you know what you bring in every month. And that's just a good, it's a good way to keep records of your health, and you can go back and see where you took too much in, or you didn't take so much in, or you didn't get enough. So a food diary will be another good way to keep track of those portion sizes that will overall help you to succeed and keep you from overeating. My 4th tip to maintain weight loss is to use a scale. And there was a National Weight Control Registry that did a study that tracked like 5,000 people who successfully lost weight and kept it off. And what the study revealed is that the people that kept the weight off, interestingly, were those that scaled their weight. That out of the 100%, 75% of the people that weighed themselves once a week were the ones that were more successful in keeping that weight off, because it was that accountability. And if you've gained 1 or 2 pounds and you see it on that scale, it's likely that you'll know to watch out for portion sizes. Like if you do it daily and you found to pick up more weight eating a certain food, then it'll help you to monitor to keep you from eating that food again. Another way that you can help to maintain weight loss is, and then there are times that you get on the scale, so you kind of got to know your body. You can get on the scale and you realize that you gain weight, but you've been eating about the same thing. It's kind of tough to know when the higher number sometimes on the scale also can mean when you retain water weight. And this kind of goes back to women, like when you're going through PMS, you know, we retain a lot of weight during that time for some of us. And then rather, is that really truly weight gaining, or is that just water weight? So if you're a person that retains fluids, you usually will know, because like your rings or your shoes will begin to feel tight. And however, like waistband on your favorite jeans could reflect either weight gain or it can be from food. So I think those are kind of the ways that you can monitor it, because if you're swollen in one place, most of the time you're going to be swollen in other places. Like I said, with the rings will begin to get a little bit tighter, or if your shoes fit a little bit snug, then they usually do. You can begin to probably know that you might have water weight, and if it's just in your waistband, like I stated, it could be from weight gain. So you want to make sure that you step on that scale regularly to keep track of that weight, prevent that weight from creeping up on you. You know what I mean? So that's another way that you can help to maintain that weight loss. 5th way to help maintain weight loss is get at least half an hour of exercise, which, you know, I did some videos on my channel about how to best times to work out, and you can go back to that video, and I'll try to probably put a little link around this box so you can go back and watch the video. But at least make sure you're getting some type of some type of exercise in your regular diet. And it is so true. If you still need to get a good sweat going, and if you want to maintain that weight, you're going to have to work out. There have been many studies done that have shown that people who keep weight off, rely on regular exercise. And it's just the one really good strategy to avoid weight gain and regaining those pounds. And also for women, you can exercise for like a minimum of an hour a day, doing something like your cardio and your resistance training, which I like both of them because it kind of balances you out, helps to tone up and lose at the same time, because you just lose and then you'll start having saggy skin and you don't want that. So you want to make sure you're doing that resistance training as well. And I'm not a physical trainer, or I'm not a doctor. These are just recommendations and things that I've seen in other people's lives or in my own life. So you want to make sure you balance your resistance training with your aerobics training or your cardio. And also you should do things that you enjoy doing, that can help to keep that weight off. You don't always have to be stuck in the gym. You can do other things. You can go biking. Some things should just not be exercise. Some things can be a hobby. I'm very athletic. I like to go rollerblading, inline rollerblading. I like to play tennis. If I could all the time, I want to try to do rock climbing a lot more. I like basketball, football, tennis, volleyball, something to stay active. And I don't do those things to exercise. I do them because I like them, and I do it because it's a hobby for me. So find things that you enjoy, women, and find things that you enjoy, men. And also increasing the intensity and the duration of your physical activity when you're ready for the challenge. Begin to increase and begin to challenge yourself even more. If you did 10 crunches, go up to 15 crunches. If you did 15, go to 20. And that's for your push-ups. Or if you do free weights, increase and challenge yourself. And that will begin to help you keep those pounds off. And lastly, I know I've talked a lot here. And I know when I talk a lot, my voice just goes haywire. But the last rule, or the last, not rule, but last tip to help maintain your weight loss, following that 80-20 rule. Everybody knows the 80-20 rule. We use it in the finance world. We use it in relationships. We use it in a lot of things. And it's all of this. It sounds like a lot of effort and not enough cheesecake and not enough Vienna fingers and not enough ice cream. But just remember that if you don't have that perfect all the time, the key is moderation. If you don't hit 100% all the time, just try to moderate. And even if you follow that 80-20 rule, if you practice healthy habits 80% of the time, then you can relax 20% of the time. But you have to take it easy, even with that 20%, because one particular unhealthy meal could undo all that hard work that you put in. It can undo everything that you have, the efforts that you have put into losing this weight, and it'll just feel like you wasted your time. It's like a bad relationship. You put 100% into the relationship, and a person only gives you 20 back, and then you give up. It's feel like that 100% that you gave, or that 80% you gave, was in vain, and you feel like you've been used, and you feel like you wasted time. So I don't want you to fail during this time. Just make sure if you don't hit it perfectly, that you do keep it moderate. And you do that by staying persistent. And if you're a goody-goody for that whole week and you do good that whole week, then you can have that extra scoop of ice cream, or you can have that whatever it is that you like or enjoy. But if you're like me and you have an addiction and you know that you can't just eat one, that you would try something like a supplement, or you pick up a new hobby and begin to reward yourself with that. And for one thing, you have to make sure is that you don't want to go from one addiction to another. You don't want to become a shopaholic, and then now you're in debt because you're indulging in shopping because you can't eat that ding dong or wham wham or Twinkie. So you want to make sure moderation in everything. And most importantly, make sure that you remember, if you do indulge, or if you do have that 20% at the end of the week, that you remember those are empty calories. But it's a treat, but it's empty calories. You are supposed to enjoy it. These things were meant for us to enjoy, not to indulge in the first place. And we just kind of got out of hand with it. But no matter what, just remember, it's all about balance. Even as I wrap it up, it's all about balance. And although it's not always easy, as I stated, finding your own ways to maintain that weight loss can make you feel good about yourself at the end of the day. And finding that right balance is so important. And like I said, I've never seen a scale that didn't tip back and forth. You're going to have those periods where one side it goes locked forward and the other side. But you have to make sure that you bring yourself back into alignment, and back into alignment to your spirit, back into alignment with your body, back into alignment with your mind. And you do that, just continue to stay active and keeping the active lifestyle and keeping the active mind. And also remember that you've already made it this far. You've already made the accomplishment. I don't care if it's 3 pounds. I don't care if it's 1 pound. I don't care if it's 2 inches. You have made a great accomplishment. So just keep going and stay positive, and you will succeed. And I think that'll do it. I hope these tips help you. And if they have, and you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so, because I will try to share tips time and time on my own personal journey on things that I deal with in everyday life, and maybe I can help you. And that's one of the main reasons that I record these, is because these are not things I just sit around and think about. These are the things that I encounter as well. I might not be obese to the fact of, just a large woman, but at the same time, I still have the same temptation as the next man. And I figure if I have these struggles, that somebody else has them and wants to get through. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the comments. Continue to do so. And I'll see you next time. And as always, God bless and stay creative. Bye.